How did Emperor Qin Shi Huang die? From 230 BC to 221 BC, Qin conquered the six states. Emperor Qin Shi Huang won the throne and established the Great Qin, which was the first unified feudal authoritarian system in China. He emerged and monopolized the historical stage, becoming the eternal emperor. Emperor Qin Shi Huang created the world and established a multi-ethnic unified empire, and his life is a magnificent historical poem. So, how did Emperor Qin Shi Huang die for winning the government? One view suggests that Emperor Qin Shi Huang died of fear and exhaustion and traumatic tuberculosis meningitis. The reason for holding this view is that there are many accounts in records of the Grand Historian about the death of Qin Shi Huang, which can be found in Annals of Qin Shi Huang, biographies of Li Si, biographies of Meng Tian, etc. The cause of death is already clear and beyond doubt. Emperor Qin Shi Huang was ill from a young age, so his physical condition was weak. He is both stubborn and self-centered, and he personally decides every detail. I review 120 kilograms of documents every day, and my work is extremely tiring. In addition, the high temperature in July during the parade led to the concurrent occurrence of various factors, which led to his illness and death on the way. As for the illness at which he died, some people believe that he died of epilepsy. Epilepsy usually occurs in 4 stages: initial dizziness, discomfort in the stomach, followed by sudden loss of consciousness, spasms in the diaphragm, cyanosis, dilated pupils, breathing pauses, then muscle twitching throughout the body, foaming at the mouth, and finally several tens of minutes before waking up. Emperor Qin Shi Huang suffered from osteomalacia and tracheitis when he was young, and in his prime, he suffered from epilepsy, commonly known as epilepsy, which often occurred. In 218 BC, Emperor Qin Shi Huang went on a pilgrimage to the vicinity of Balangsha and Yingwu, now Yuanyang County, Hunan Province, seeking elixirs. Suddenly, there was a strange sound and a large hammer flew over him, hitting a secondary carriage behind him, which was smashed to pieces. This is due to being stabbed by someone. From then on, Emperor Qin Shi Huang's panic disorder began, and he often dreamed of fighting against monsters and fish in the sea, without peace of mind. In 211 BC, a meteorite was discovered in Dongjun, now Puyang, Hunan, with the words, "Emperor Shi died and the earth was divided." In the autumn, an incident occurred where an envoy was intercepted by an immortal, informing him that the ancestral dragon died this year, which further intensified his fear. Under the guidance of the diviner, he embarked on his 5th tour in 210 BC, seeking refuge in disaster relief and seeking the elixir of immortality. The long journey eventually exhausted him, and on the way back to Xianyang, he had a seizure. He hit his head against the bronze ice book used to cool off on the side of his seat, causing the ice book to overturn and splatter in all directions. As a result, the tuberculosis bacteria that had accumulated in the brain in the early years began to intensify their activity, causing headaches, dizziness, fever, and severe emaciation, as well as frequent constipation and vomiting. Due to the limitations of medical technology at that time, this internal disease induced by trauma was still considered a terminal illness. In addition, the weak long-distance fatigue system further exacerbated the severity of the illness, so the death of Emperor Qin Shi Huang on a sand dune was caused by various factors. Another view suggests that he died in a palace coup. People who hold this view mainly rely on historical records of the death of Emperor Qin Shi Huang to scrutinize and discover suspicious aspects. And there is also a dispute over the mastermind of Hu Hai and Zhao Gao who hold this view. The theory of Hu Hai as the mastermind. It is believed that Qin Shi Huang was killed by his young son Hu Hai. The reason is, firstly, although Emperor Qin Shi Huang fell ill and hit his head on the bronze ice mirror, his brain, meninges, and anterior skull were impacted, and the power of tuberculosis suddenly surged forward with this trauma. However, he may not die immediately. He will die in about 2 to 3 weeks. During this period, it is completely possible to walk from the sand dunes to Xianyang, instead of falling down for a few days and losing your life. This is the key to the problem. Secondly, although Emperor Qin Shi Huang had a fever at that time, his consciousness was still relatively clear. He recalled the distant young master Fusu and the meritorious minister Meng Tian, and felt very guilty in his heart. In order to stabilize the Qin dynasty, He avoided traveling with Li Si and the arrogant Hu Hai, and personally wrote a wooden slip imperial edict with Su Fu. I patrol the world, pray to famous mountains and gods, to prolong my life, but unfortunately, I have a sudden illness on my way back. My life is on the brink of death, and he belongs to Meng Tian as a soldier, and was buried in Xianying during the funeral. This edict, however, instructed Zhao Gao to send someone specifically to send him to the county. Zhao Gao colluded with Li Si, advocating for the establishment of Hu Hai and secretly changing the edict to Death of Fu Su. Meng Tian and soldier belongs to Wang Li. Because after Fu Su and Meng Tian came to power, they would not have a good ending. However, they did not expect that when they were afraid that Qin Shi Huang would wake up again and did not dare to send the edict, Qin Shi Huang passed away overnight on the sand dune. The next morning, they opened the Wanliang car and saw that the right ear of the first emperor was bleeding black blood, and at some point it had already become as hard as a stone. Guomorua believed that, apart from Hu Hai, not even Li Si and Zhao Gao knew about this. If in modern times, a small dissected knife could reveal a 3-inch long iron nail in Qin Shi Huang's right ear. Therefore, Hu Hai assassinated Qin Shi Huang in order to compete for the throne. The theory of Zhao Gao as the mastermind. Some scholars believe that the possibility of Zhao Gao plotting murder is actually greater than that of Hu Hai, because the imperial edict and jade seal are in Zhao Gao's hands, and the decision-making power of inheriting the throne is also in his and Li Si's hands. Even if Hu Hai killed his father, without the cooperation of Zhao Gao and Li Si, not only would he not be able to obtain the throne, but he would also be in danger of killing himself. And Zhao Gao often served around the emperor, taking advantage of the opportunity to act without revealing any trace, so it was much more convenient than Hu Hai. Zhao Gao's ultimate goal was to become an emperor, and he could not control the living Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang fell seriously ill on his 5th tour, which was a divine opportunity for him. Only after Qin Shi Huang's death could he falsely issue a testament and implement his plan step by step. After the death of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, Zhao Gao used the technique of persuading Hu Hai to threaten Li Si. After a conspiracy, the three of them fabricated an edict issued by Emperor Qin Shi Huang, and Hu Hai inherited the throne. At the same time, he also accused Fu Su of being unfilial as his son and Meng Tian of being disloyal as his minister in the name of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, forcing them to commit suicide and not disobey. After receiving the exact news of the suicide in Fu Su, Hu Hai, Zhao Gao, and Li Si ordered the convoy to travel day and night and quickly return to Xianying. In order to continue deceiving the subjects, the convoy dared not take a shortcut back to Xianying, but instead assumed the posture of continuing to patrol and took a detour back to Xianying. Due to the high temperature in the summer, the body of Emperor Qin Shi Huang has rotted and smelled. To cover people's ears and eyes, Hu Hai and his team ordered people to buy many fish to put on the car, confusing everyone. After arriving in Xianying, Hu Hai succeeded as the second emperor of Qin, with Zhao Gao serving as the Longzhongling and Li Si still serving as the prime minister. However, the great power of the court actually fell into the hands of Zhao Gao. After Zhao Gao's conspiracy succeeded, he began to poison the people around him. He set traps and gradually pushed Li Si to a dead end. After Li Si discovered Zhao Gao's conspiracy, he wrote a letter to report Zhao Gao. Qin II Hu Hai not only favored Zhao Gao, but also punished Li Si and ultimately beheaded him in Xianying. Zhao Gaosheng was appointed as the prime minister, and due to his ability to enter and exit the palace, he was specifically referred to as the middle prime minister. From this, it can be seen that the death of Qin Shi Huang was directed by Zhao Gao and Fu Su, Meng Tian, Meng Yi, Li Si, Hu Hai, and others were the sacrificial figures controlled by him. Regarding the death of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, there have been various opinions in history, and there have been controversies for over 2,000 years. It is still unknown whether it was Sima Qian's mistake or his intentional act, leaving a lasting mystery for future generations.